Hey parents, hey kids. I want to make this video today to let you know about some of the things that are going on in the youth ministry. COVID has changed a lot of things for us, and we're looking at figuring out what the best rhythms are moving forward. One of the things that we've been talking about doing is moving away from our Sunday morning gathering time for high school students and shifting that to Sunday evenings. You see, there's this reality in the church where 50% of high school graduates who graduate out of youth group, graduate out of church, go off to college and then they leave their faith. 50%. So if we have 30 high school kids, let's say, in our program, 15 of them are going to walk away from the church, walk away from the faith. And there's a lot of different reasons why that could be. The studies don't really show one definitive reason, but I've got this theory that one of the reasons why that happens is that in church there's nothing else like youth ministry. And so when you go off to college and you're really expected to kind of find your place in a church, one, many churches struggle to reach that age bracket, but two, it's just such a jarring difference from what programs were like in children's ministry and in youth ministry to what then adult ministry looks like. And one of the ways for us to combat that is to invite students to find their place now in the larger church. This is something we've been talking about for several years because we don't like this idea of losing 50% of our kids. And so we want to shift towards opening the Sunday morning time up for kids not to stop connecting and stop plugging into the church, but to connect and plug in more deeply than they ever have. We want to help them find out the ways in which they can serve, the ways in which they can give of themselves, the ways in which they can belong and rub shoulders with loving, caring adults who can be pouring into them, so that when they go off to college and they're looking for a church home, when they become young adults and they're looking for a church, they know kind of places where they can fit, where they can volunteer, where they can connect with others. So we're challenging our students to be thinking about ways in which they can connect, ways in which they can serve, ways in which they can plug in. Whether that's on the tech team, the video team, being a greeter or an usher, whether that's being a student leader, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second, whether that's on the cafe team when that opens up again. There's lots of different ways in which kids can plug in and connect. Volunteering in children's ministry. Lots of different ways. We want to challenge them to think that through, because when we serve, we grow and we discover more about ourselves, we discover what we're good at, and we connect with others. So we're making this shift on October 17th. We've been wanting to take the time, the first few Sundays of our fall calendar, to talk about this with the kids and to prep them for it. We've been talking through a series called Reset, kind of how to start over, what life is like when you have to make a fresh start. And we've looked at the stories of Noah and Moses. We're going to be looking at stories of just Israel, of Onesimus, of lots of different stories in the Bible, to kind of help us understand what that looks like, both personally and communally. So October 17th, we're going to launch this for high schoolers. It's going to be 6 to 8 as of right now. That might change, but we'll let you know all those details. And the idea is that it's going to be 2 hours long, but that first 60 to 75 minutes is going to be program. It's going to be the snacks and the fun and the games and the teaching that will be relevant and engaging. And then the last 45 minutes to an hour is going to be for life groups. As you recall, Sunday nights used to be kind of the primary time for life groups to meet. And we said we valued that, but we really want that to be attached to our youth group experience so that more kids can get the benefit of life group. And one of the reasons why we've valued being in the homes is because it's nice to feel in a different environment, a different atmosphere, but we've been renovating the spaces in our youth areas, in our middle school space, in our high school space, to help them feel a little bit less like the church, a little bit less like a classroom experience, and more like a home environment, so that when you come to church and you have the program, you have the fun, and you have the games, and you transition over to this other area where there's couches and there's warmth and there's fellowship, that you forget a little bit that you're in a church and you focus more on the relational aspect of things. And we want more kids to be able to experience that kind of connection and intimacy, because we really believe that one of the strengths of growing in our faith and of our youth ministry is its small groups. Is the one-on-few, the adult who's pouring into just a couple kids, and kids who are sharing life with each other and growing in authenticity and community, and they can grow together and encourage each other in following Jesus.